Hello gamers, it's Mew. Welcome back to another video. For this video, I'll be making Five Nights at Freddy's Gjinkas. If you don't know, Gjinkas are basically humanized versions of literally anything. Pokemon, websites, social media, a lot of Gjinkas of a lot of stuff. I was very much inspired by Pole Bear's Five Nights at Freddy's Gjinkas, which, don't get me wrong, they're all very cute and nostalgic, but I would approach things differently. Or not would, more like I did approach things differently. For one, they wouldn't all be pale. Like, personally, I cannot see Freddy as a white guy. I don't understand how anyone sees him as a white guy. He's a brown bear. He should be brown. Anyways, as a kid, I fucking loved Five Nights at Freddy's so much. Not even the game, to be honest. I was not good at the game, but the lore and the stories surrounding it was my favorite. My favorite animatronic was, and still is, Mangle, but if I had to choose someone from the first game, it was either Bonnie or Foxy. But nowadays, it's Foxy. I was also a huge Foxy and Chica shipper. The animatronics, not the possessed kids themselves. And I fucking despise Foxy and Mangle, to be honest, though. Now, I get it. I still wouldn't ship it, though, to be honest. But also, like, possession does kind of complicate things. Anyways, so I decided, in general, for my Five Nights at Freddy's Gjinkas, at least for the first game, there would be sort of a restaurant theme to everyone, though I kind of I didn't really keep that very much, but like not as overtly with Pole Bears, because everyone sorta has like a waitress vibe. It also seems Five Nights at Freddy's took place in 1993. That seems to be canon. So I was also going to attempt to incorporate early 90s fashion. Keyword attempt. That will be important later. Obviously, it's Five Nights at Freddy's. We have to start with the Freddy himself, the man himself, the bear himself. Whatever, you know what I mean. Obviously, I incorporated his top hat, bow tie, and microphone. That was the requirements. But I also wanted his hair to resemble bear ears. Unfortunately, I don't think I incorporated that in a way that fit the time period. I didn't realize buns were sort of a thing. Like, I could have done that, although I don't think that's something men would have done in the time, but whatever. I was also going for a bear, which, like, in this context, it's a fat and hairy man who's gay or bisexual, though I didn't do the hairy part so well. I couldn't even think of a way to incorporate the beard. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I don't draw beards that often that, like, guys, I don't draw beards that often. If I'm being honest, I'm sorry. I literally forget that men can have like beards or mustaches. Like literally, I'm being so serious. I forget that that's a thing men can do sometimes. Anyway, 90s men's fashion was super boring, honestly, but it fits the image I have in mind for Freddy. I see him as a warm, kind, laid-back man who adores performing for the kids and making them happy. I don't think he's the one to dress flashy. Honestly, everyone else is really flashy in comparison, so he's happy to be the plain one, even if he is the leader of sorts of the animatronics. So I gave him a sweater vest, a brown button-up shirt, and brown shoes. In the end, he's sort of basic. I mean, it fits him, but it still feels like I'm missing something, but it works. Maybe I'll revisit him again in the future, but I'm fine to leave him be for now. Next was Chica, who I was excited for because I felt I could at least do something interesting with 90s fashion for her. Plus, I'm more comfortable designing and drawing women anyways. So for the hair, I wanted like a spiky hair bun or ponytail on top to mimic her, like, animatronic fur. I had hair in my script, but like that's not true. And for the beak, I only thought to like incorporate it as like orange lipstick, which I don't know if that was really a thing in the 90s. Honestly, it seems like 90s, early 2000s. Like I think the trend was like pink lips, blush, blue eyeshadow. So I don't know. Anyway, like Freddy wasn't really 90s anyways, even despite my attempts, so it doesn't matter as much. I also wanted her to be the one that was most overtly like in the waitress waiter theme. But I was trying to find a way to incorporate that with other parts of 90s fashion. I think shoulder pads more late 90s. That's what was in my script, but I don't know about that. I felt it could work. No, it's not late 90s. It was more like late 80s. I guess it's a kind of bled. It probably bled through to early 90s too. Anyways, included shoulder pads, but I really couldn't think of anything else from like 90s fashion that would work with the waitress vibe, honestly, cuz like I don't know. I just couldn't think or find anything. Anyways, I just went all in on the waitress vibe, but it makes her look very 50s and 60s, at least for her clothing. Oh well. Dress is yellow. She has the Let's Eat bib. That's the requirement, and also cupcake. She has a white apron around her skirt, orange stockings to mimic Chica's chicken feet, and white roller skates to kind of call back to the claws, though in hindsight, maybe the shoes should have also been orange and then have white claws painted on them, but oh well. I also gave her Cupcake, like I said, but he looks kind of fucked up. Sorry, Cupcake. I have actually since done more. I already did Bonnie, but I'm gonna save him for a different video. Um, I also have Foxy and Golden Freddy in the plans. Maybe Cupcake as a human. And also I'll look into like the possessed kids and I'll draw interpretations of them. I'll draw the security guard, who I think in Five Nights at Freddy's lore that's just straight up William Afton's son. Maybe I'll do William Afton too. I don't know if I should do him now or like save him for 3. Probably. I don't know. Someone else did suggest that I should make designs of their possessed selves, but honestly, considering like in game there's not a whole lot of visual differences between their regular and possessed selves, I'm just gonna leave it be for now. I'm not sure how much longer I'll carry these on afterwards. I'm really hoping I'll stay motivated enough to at least get through some of the toy animatronics, but no guarantees with me. I'm also not sure if I should do the withered animatronics because that's not really the type of art I typically do, but like I can try if that's something people want from me. I will say though, I never got to sister location, so if I get through like making Gjinkas for games 1 through 4, I don't know like if I'm gonna do sister location or not, to be honest. Um, there's also like quite a few games that just reuse old characters but didn't really introduce anyone new, so you know. What else? Also, I know there's a fuck ton of fighting about ships, at least back in the day. So, I think everyone in the first game is pan and polyamorous, so ship whatever you want with my Gjinkas. Though I think Golden Freddy is more like the fifth wheel that no one really likes, in my opinion. I do kind of have a story in mind. I don't know if I'll do anything with the story. Maybe I'll share it with you if that's something you guys would be interested, but I would have to think about it more. Still a big Chica and Foxy fan though, so they're probably gonna be the ship I draw the most. But I do think all of the ships in like game 1, excluding Golden Freddy. I don't ship anyone with Golden Freddy. The main 4, I think any ship could be cute, honestly. Like I said, I do have plans for the rest of the game 1 characters, but any characters that you're hoping I get to, if you were doing Gjinkas, what would you do differently? I'd like to see different Gjinka designs. You know, I think it'd be fun just to like, you know, see how different people design different Gjinkas. Let's make more Gjinkas in general. Feel free to tag me in your Five Nights at Freddy's Gjinka designs, even if they're not necessarily fan art. Anyways, we're just about getting to the end. check out my Patreon for stuff about kingdoms. We're in the home stretch, everybody! Yay! And you should also check out my sticker shop, which has mostly Apothecary Diaries and one Satan sticker. I want to get rid of my old inventory so I can replace it with new stuff that's, like, actually decently cut. Unfortunately, I can't use my paper cutting machine on, like, stuff that's already been kind of cut. Because, like, the paper, like... Because, like, when you're cutting stuff, you have to print it out on a new piece of paper with these specific markings so that, like, the cutter can kind of detect where it's supposed to go. Anyways, sorry. Anyways, thank you for watching. There's probably, when this video comes out, there's probably gonna be a lot of Kingdoms craziness for a while. I'm sorry in advance. Thank you for watching. Bye.